Hello, sports fans, and welcome to another edition of Scott Sports 101. I'm Scott Trella. We're going to talk Guardians, and we're going to talk, preview the Browns preseason game Friday, number deuce. This will be here against the Washington Commanders. We'll get to all that, but first, here is today's Scott Sports 101 trivia question. It's a Major League Baseball trivia question. How many home runs did Ken Griffey Jr. hit with the Seattle Mariners? And I will have the answer to that question later in the podcast. Um, well, the Guardians had 6 hits and did not score a single run in this game as they were shut out. They lose the series. They lost 1-0. Only take 1 out of 3 from the Blue Jays, and lost 55 and 60. That's what Magic did for the Guardians. And Logan Allen was on the hill for the good guys. He went 5 innings, gave up 4 hits, 1 earned run, had 3 beans at bat. Uh, and then the bullpen took over. Eli Morgan came on, I think, in the sixth and seventh innings. He gave up 1 hit and struck out 4 batters. And then just came on. He gave up 3 hits. That was an eighth inning. And then Michael Kelly uh, came on in the ninth. And he struck out 1 batter, but nonetheless, the Blue Jays get the win by the final score of 1-0. And I'm going to give you the highlights of this game right now. I'm going to do it and just give it to you. I'm waiting for it to come up on my screen. But this game did not bode well for the Blue Jays, for the Guardians today. Well, I'm going to give you just the key moments of highlights. Top of the first, George Springer homers on a fly ball to left center field, and it was 1-0 Toronto, and stayed that way throughout the entire game. Top of the fifth, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. grounds into a double play to second baseman Andres Giannis, to first baseman Cole Calhoun. George Springer out at second, Vladimir Jr. out at first, and there were 3 outs. It was still not 1-0 Toronto. Bottom of the seventh, pitcher Kevin Gossman picks off Oscar Gonzalez uh, at, on a throw to second baseman David Schneider, and there were 3 outs, and it's still 1-0 Toronto. Top of the eighth, David Schneider uh, uh, grounds into a double play. Shortstop Gabriel Arias to second baseman Andres Giannis, to first baseman Cole Calhoun. Matt Chapman out at second. David Schneider out at first. And it still remains one. In the bottom of the eighth, Raymond Loreno strikes out swinging. And then it was still 1-0. And then the bottom of the ninth, Andres Giannis singles on a ground ball to left fielder Nathan Lukes. And Jose Ramirez strikes out swinging. And then after that, pretty much it was and I guess there was one that grounded up, but nonetheless, the Blue Jays get the win by the final score of 1-0. So Stratford falls to 55 and 60, and they are I think 2.5 games behind the Twins in second place in the AL Central. And to make the playoffs, they need to win the division in order to have a chance to make the playoffs. But they actually know there's one more game. It's a 4-game series. Hopefully, they can try to split the series with the Blue Jays tomorrow. So they're down 2-1 in the series. So hopefully, they can take the finale game and split the series. First pitch, 110 on, I believe it's Bally on Bally Sports Ohio. Uh, well, basically, this was not a good day for the Guardians. Did not go well for them today. Uh, we will, and now I'm gonna, as we get to the Browns, and they are getting ready for their second preseason game, which will be against the Washington Commanders uh, on Friday. And as they do get ready for that, and yeah, and yes, as I said, the Browns are getting ready for their second preseason. Their first preseason was preseason number one because the Hall of Fame game was the first one. This is number two, and it'll be at Cleveland Browns Stadium on Friday. Backup running back Jerome Ford will miss time with a hamstring injury. He suffered Monday on day 11 of Browns training camp, but the Browns are still unlikely to back his predecessor, Kareem Hunt. Hunt, who was allowed to walk in free agency after spending 4 seasons with the Browns, visited the Saints on Monday, but left Tuesday without a contract and was on his way to visit with the Colts in Indianapolis. Hunt would probably still like to return to his hometown Browns, and his good buddy Nick Chubb would undoubtedly love to have him back, but that option appeared unlikely Tuesday, even in the wake of Ford's injury. So, and we'll get back to the Browns in just a moment. But right now, it is time to reveal the answer to today's Scott Sports 101 trivia question. It's a Major League Baseball one, as I said. How many home runs did Ken Griffey Jr. hit with the Seattle Mariners? And if you said 417, you are correct. Ken Griffey Jr. hit an unbelievable 417 home runs with the Seattle Mariners. And I will have another trivia question on my next podcast. So stay tuned for that. Uh, now, getting back to the Browns, and Deshaun Watson is expected to start the Browns' second preseason game with the against the Washington Commanders on Friday. So you will get to see Watson, uh, and he hopes to take charge of the offense. Uh, Deshaun Watson has to hope that his preseason debut Friday night against the Commanders goes better than last year's. In that game, a 24-13 victory over the Jaguars on August 12th, Watson tried to shake off the rust of a 19-month layoff, but went 1 for 5 for 7 yards with a 39.6 passer rating in his first 3 game series. Granted, Anthony Schwartz dropped a couple of passes, but it was a poor performance nonetheless. Uh, it was like a blur, to be honest. Watson said Wednesday, unbeknownst to anyone. Uh, the time it foreshadowed Watson's shaky regular season debut against the Texans December 4th in Houston. The Browns also won that game, but Watson looked exactly like a player who hadn't taken a regular season snap in 700 days. A lot has changed since that preseason opener, and Watson's victory over the Texans in the first of his 6 starts. He went 3 for 3 last season with 7 touchdowns and 5 interceptions and a career low 79.1 rating. The Browns significantly upgraded his pass catching, stable adding Elijah Moore, Jordan Atkins, and Cedric Tillman, and overhauled the offense. He'll roll it out Friday against the Commanders in a sneak preview of what the Browns hope is their playoff campaign and all-pro performance by their $230 million man. Coach Kevin Stefanski said he'll play a majority of his starters and that Watson will play as little as a series or two, but he'll play it by ear for the Commanders. Uh, Coach Ron Rivera announced Wednesday that the 22 fifth-round pick Sam Howell of North Carolina will start the game, meaning former Browns quarterback Jacoby Brissett will come off the bench. Uh, we kind of have a number of plays in mind, but I want to see how these drives go. Stefanski said. Uh, similarly, uh, similarly, defensively, I mean, if you get two, three and outs, you're going to be tampered to pull anybody. So it's really just dependent on if you're getting what you want accomplished. And I agree with that wholeheartedly. They really need to get to accomplish a lot in this preseason game Friday, and I agree wholeheartedly with that. He acknowledged that all four quarterbacks will play, including Joshua Dobbs, Dorian Thompson Robinson, and Kellen Mond. He declined to be specific on a big game starters such as Myles Garrett and Nick Chubb. We'll see. We'll see in action. If they are able to be in uniform, Stefanski said. Watson was in the dark himself about how much time he'll get against the Commanders, who have Howell instead of number one, uh, listed number one on their depth chart, and Brissett is number two, and Jake Form as number three. I'm not even sure how much I'll play Watson. Said before day 12 of training camp on Wednesday, that was today. I just know I'm starting it off, and we'll see how the biggest thing really is just getting out operational in the field for pregame and starting off the game, and just kind of get myself back into the routine, get ready for the season. He acknowledged uh, that testing his progress against live action is everything. You've just got to get that routine again. You've just got to start fresh. Get back to the basics of how you get yourself prepared for the game, mentally, physically, and just really operational for the team so we can go out there and be sharp. And that's exactly what they have to do. Whether it's three series or a half, it doesn't matter to him. I'm a competitor, so however long he wants to play, I'm going to go out there and compete for that length of time. And we'll see what happens, Watson said. Just going out there to be sharp and really just take charge of the offense. As far as how much work he needs overall in preseason, he's also leaving that up to Stefanski. The biggest thing is really each and every each and every day is an opportunity for myself to get myself ready for September 10th, he said. So practices, meetings, walkthroughs, preseason games, whatever Coach Stefanski and the staff want me and the other guys to do, we're going to be able to go out there and try to operate and be sharp and be safe as possible so we get ready for September 10th. And that will be my season premiere of Scott Sports 101. And that will be the premiere of my seventh season of Scott Sports 101. Thursday Night Football, Scott Sports Thursday Night Football uh, pregame show and postgame show will kick it off. But Sunday will be the big season premiere day. And I'll have my special guest joining me will be my really good friend, Matt Murphy, as I will be live at the Murphy House, the home of my friends, Matt and Katie Murphy, to really kick off the 2023 regular season. And I'm really looking forward to that. Uh, uh, and really, um, Stefanski will likely keep it vanilla during the game, so it won't be an accurate representation of what's to come. Really, just don't expect anything, Watson said. The biggest thing is just really to go out there with an open mind. It's still a very basic on what we show and what we won't show. Watson is coming off his best red zone performance of training camp on Monday. Previously, the defensive backs had won most of the red zone periods, blanketing receivers, sweating down passes, and grabbing interceptions. I mean, could be, Watson said, but I feel like every day is a learning lesson for myself. Regardless if I was good, if I wasn't good, I always try to go into film with the mindset that everything is not always great and everything is not always bad. It's always right in the middle. So there was a lot of success on the field that we had the other day in the rain, but also there was some little small things that we've got to clean up too. The good thing for Watson is that trying to squeeze it in against the likes of Denzel Ward, Martin Emerson Jr., and Greg Newsome, currently sidelined by a groin injury with heavy pressure from Myles Garrett, Zadarius Smith, and Agbo uh, uh, Okoronwo, Okoronwo is preparing him well for the season. If we can score the football against these guys, he should be sitting pretty against just about anyone he'll face this season. The defense is very intense, very sharp, very skilled, coached very well, very disciplined from the defensive backs. We are playing very tight coverage on the receivers, Watson said. So there's got to be the right type throws inside the windows. You've got the linebackers that are smart with a walk, Anthony Walker Jr. and Jeremiah Oswald Cormoa and Jordan uh, Kunazeski and all the other guys. And as you've got the front that's very aggressive and very fast, strong, and big, so it's putting us to the test that it's going to be out for us for the long run. Glad to be able to go back and forth and compete as we want to do the same for them too. As usual, Garrett forced Watson to get the ball out quickly on a number of occasions Wednesday, which will help prepare him for game speed. Fortunately for Watson, he's got an excellent new receiver in Elijah Moore, who is ready for whatever he is dishing out. The two have developed excellent chemistry in camp, and it will be on display Friday night. Here's a big impact player, Watson said. He can do it all. He is very versatile, excuse me, and he can line up outside, inside, whatever we ask him to do. He can do it, whatever and he goes full speed and never complains. He just tries to be perfect, and whatever he can do to be productive for this offense and this team and for himself. So he's definitely going to help us to help this offense, and he's going to be great for us. In preseason, with a speedy receiver, Marquise Goodwin has been sidelined with blood clots, and Anthony Schwartz hamstring and Amari Cooper minor tweak have both missed time. Austin Watkins has emerged as a pleasant surprise on the course. He's played in the USFL, Watson said, so that was cool to be able to watch some of his tape and then have him come and help this team. He played good in the Hall of Fame game. He's just got into town. I think the last week or last couple of days of Greenberg. So he had to learn fast, but for him to be able to come out and be productive for this team and this offense has definitely been great. So he is going to keep going, and he asks a lot of questions. And he's a guy that wants to learn and try to help this team. Watson refuses to uh, re religitate his last 6 games from last season, when, in addition to his emotional return in Houston, he lost to the Saints in sub-zero temperatures on Christmas Eve at Cleveland Browns Stadium. Cooper was also fighting through a core muscle injury down the stretch. Honestly, it went the way it should have gone, and went 3-3. Watson said there was some opportunities that overall, not just myself but the whole team, we missed out on. Uh, a lot of guys banged up, but we just take it and move forward. And of course, over the off season, you learn from it. But spring ball and training camp starts, you got to put 2022 behind us and focus on the new year. There's so many potential opportunities for us and myself, and we want to take advantage of them. Watson is curious as anyone to see how far they've come since last season, when he didn't always look like the 3-time Pro Bowler that he is. I have no idea, he said. Like I said, it's just really once we get out there and play, we'll see what happens and go from there. He made a big He's made a big fan in Brown's defensive and uh, Ogbo Okrono or Orkoronko, and who sacked him in the 27-14 victory over Houston last season when Watson played for the first time in 700 days. Uh, oh man, that guy, Oken Okoron Okoronkwo said he has an arm from the side throws and deep throws to, yeah, I mean, Deshaun Watson is Deshaun Watson. He definitely was rusty last year, and who wouldn't be after missing that much ball, but y'all are going to see Deshaun Watson this year for sure. And I agree with that. And they really got to come out there. And they got to really be productive. And they really got to really keep the Commanders from scoring and really do the job that they're supposed to do out there. And so that's just about going to wrap it up for this edition of Scott Sports 101. And I'll be back Friday with the Scott Sports 101 Browns Browns NFL preseason pregame show, and before the Browns game, and then the post-game show to follow. But until then, always remember, be a team player each and every day in every way possible. So long, everybody. 3, 2, 1, I'm done.